Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Misty Moss. I am a boudoir photographer, self-portrait artist, and burlesque performer, all things self-love. And today we are doing some boudoir posing. So over the years, I have cultivated some of my tried and true fave poses that are bestsellers, make my clients feel like works of art and look stunning. So today I'm gonna share with you 3 of my all-time favorite booty poses. Let's go. So before we get into all of the posing, all of the fun things and all of that, I'm gonna introduce you to Portia, our beautiful model. So I met Portia in the burlesque world. She is an amazing burlesque performer and also a burlesque educator and teacher and dance teacher. And you can take her classes in Vancouver, BC. Check her out on Instagram. I'm obsessed with her. The world is obsessed with her. She's just popping off lately. So if you are in BC or Western Canada and you've always been like, you know what? I think I would really like to take my clothes off for strangers and all in the name of empowerment and self-love and just jiggle my bits around and feel really good in my skin. She's your girl. She's your girl. Follow her on Instagram. So all of that aside, let's dive into our first pose. All right, so starting off nice and easy, we are going to dive in with a hands and knees pose. Now, this pose can be done on any surface you have available, be that a bed, a chair, an ottoman, a chaise, a lounge, or a bit of rock if you're outside. I don't know where you're at, I don't know where you're shooting. This can be done anywhere your client can put their elbows on. You can even do it just on the ground, on their hands like this instead of elbows, and then on their knees. Totally up to you. I like having an object for them to use because it adds to the story a little bit, it adds to the vibe, the environment, and also it's just more comfortable for them, for their shoulders if they have any type of mobility issue. So for this pose, you're going to have the light coming in from beside them so that it's painting them with beautiful side light, and you're just gonna have them put their elbows on whatever surface you have, and you're just gonna have them arch their back. So if they struggle with arching their back, a word that I like to give is just tuck your tailbone to the sky. That's an easy way to convey kind of what you mean. And aside from that, that's it for this pose. You can have your client play with their hair if you want to add something else, zhuzh it up. I like to recommend shooting this pose from a full body and then get nice and close and comfy and get a detail shot as well, because this is a stunning detail shot. And that's it. That's it for this pose. People love it. My clients go crazy for it. It's easy, it's fun, and it doesn't actually require that much effort from your client. It's pretty low commitment for them to do. All right, on to the next one. We are doing a standing pose. I love standing poses so much. I think they are my favorite poses to do with my clients. Standing poses can be a little bit nerve-wracking and intimidating if you are newer to posing. Also, if your client is not familiar with posing, they can be a little bit intimidated with it as well, but do not fret as long as you are there to support them and hype them up. You ain't got nothing to worry about. This pose is gonna go freaking amazing for you. I believe in you. So for your client to get into this pose, you have them feet together, one hip popped. So you're just bending that knee to pop that hip up. I like to bend the knee that's closest to the camera. However, you can do either one. Sometimes I'll have my client do both and I'll show them both versions of the photo just because it does kind of create a different curve and a different shape for that pose. And some people like different things and the way different shapes and curves look on their body, so it never hurts to try both and see which one your client likes best. So really the only key here is just having one hip popped and pushed back, again using that tailbone tucking to the sky as a verbal cue for your client to kind of push their booty back towards you. And then aside from that, I just recommend having your client play with different places for their hands. I like to have my clients pull on their underwear to add something a little bit different with this photo. Sometimes I'll have them cross their arms behind their back and kind of hold their forearms to kind of give like a different shape. You can have them playing with their hair. You can have them tossing that hair back and forth. You can have them do body tracers on their bod. All sorts of different variations are possible with this pose. This is just a nice, solid base pose to work off of. Again, like I said before, I recommend photographing this with a full body and a close-up, so like a 3/4, and then a nice good detail shot of your client playing with their underwear or just kind of grabbing onto their back or something like that. So I always like to recommend one full body, one 3/4, and a close-up detail shot just to get the most out of your pose. Hi, I hope you're enjoying this video. I am interrupting your viewing experience to bring you a quick word from our sponsor, and that sponsor is me. I want to tell you about my new Painterly posing course for boudoir photographers. Over the last 8 years, I have perfected my own posing recipe to create diverse poses for my clients that are one of a kind and unique to every single session. That's right, in my studio there are no pre-baked poses. Not every single client gets the same pose flow, and by doing that I am able to create client experiences that are truly one of a kind and truly transformational for each individual. This means that I end up creating repeat clients that cannot get enough of the boudoir experience with me. In this posing course, we are going over the tools that I use to kind of create these poses on the fly before a session. I'm going to be teaching you my exact recipe to create galleries that will sell to your clients and that they will need to get every single photo from because they just can't get enough of those images. This course covers the basics of lighting and how I use that as a component of my posing to get really artistic and painterly images. We're also talking about the client experience and how to elevate that for them so you are creating safe and empowering spaces for your clients to be their favorite self. This course really has been a labor of love, and I am so excited to be releasing it and sharing it with you all. If you are interested in learning more about this course, please go down to the link in the description and let's get back to this video. All right, last but not least, we're gonna finish with a floor pose. Now this pose is the most physically demanding of all of the poses we have covered thus far. So I like to ask my client before we get into this pose if they have any pre-existing injuries or back things that I should be aware of that might make this pose kind of harder for them to navigate. That being said, it's not overly complicated, it just looks harder than it looks. It looks harder than it looks? It is just slightly harder than it looks. It looks effortless and melty, but it is quite a bit on the lower back, so just being mindful of that before you jump into this pose with your client. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna get your client to lie nice and flat on their tummy on the ground. Again, that light is coming in from the side, painting their back nice and beautifully with that side light, and you're gonna get your client to put all their weight on their chest and kind of crawl themselves forward on their arms. What this does is it allows your client to use their arms and their chest to kind of support them, so all their weight is being held there instead of in their back. And then from this part, this is where it gets kind of complicated. I tell my clients to push their bum up towards the sky, so they're just pushing their bum up. What? They're just pushing their bum up a little bit from the floor, and then this is the hardest part. You gotta tell them to point it towards you. And sometimes clients get a little confused here. They're like, what do you mean point my butt towards you? And this is where I get cheeky and I say, aim your butt at me like you're aiming a fart at me. This might not work for you if you're not a big cheese ball like I am. However, I'm a big goofball, so it works for me and my clients. It gets a laugh out of them, makes them be like, okay, I get it. I know what you mean. They just point their butt at me and they nail it every single time. It's not sexy, but it works. And if you don't like that, you can just say, kind of point your bum at me this way, or you can go in and ask, may I touch, and kind of direct their bum where you want it to go. But if you want to try out the fart verbal cue, 10 out of 10, recommend. And then that's it for this pose. Again, getting a nice full body, getting closer up, and then getting a nice detail shot. You can also walk around your client and get a full 360 of this pose because it changes as the light paints them from different angles. And that's it. Those are my 3 favorite and probably best-selling booty poses. I love them so much, and there's so much you can do based off of those poses. So get out there, go play, make art, be amazing. As always, if you like this video, please subscribe and like so you can see more of my content in the future. And thank you for being here.